I know firsthand that obedience isn't always glamorous. It cost me comfort, control, and certainty because I went through a lot of trials from being obedient. The warfare was real from being obedient, but it also gave me clarity, it gave me purpose, and a front row seat to God's faithfulness. I realized then and there that God was asking me for complete submission and complete sacrifice. And I said yes. Remember, obedience is the new success, and your story is proof. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Called and Courageous. I am so excited that you guys are here. Today, we have such a wonderful guest. Her name is Nicole Gibson. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an honor to have you, actually. So, thank you. So, a little bit about Nicole. Nicole's an engineer. She's a personal development advocate, a traumatic brain injury survivor who brings a powerful perspective to conversations about healing, identity, and faith. And through her platform, Dynamically Crafted, Nicole shares transparent stories and practical encouragement to help young adults move beyond survival mode and into purpose. With a background in biomechanical engineering, and MBA in project management, and over a decade of leadership experience, Nicole combines professional insights with faith-based wisdom to empower others to find strength, surrender, and a deep connection with God. Woo! I for everyone listening, she has so much more that she does, and I had to minimize her intro. So, Nicole, please, if there's anything else you would like to add that you've done or that you do, please, the floor is open to you.
Yeah, definitely. The one other little tidbit that I'll add is my book, Shattered into Grace, just got released last week. So definitely check it out. I really go into my severe traumatic brain injury and how that really impacted my 20s, which is already a tough time for many women. And then having to go through trauma or a life-changing experience, just how that shifted me, and hopefully just to encourage other women that you can really make it through anything. So definitely check it out, Shattered into Grace.
Amen. We are definitely going to take a deeper dive with that book because one, I love books. I have a publishing company, so I should love books. So
Yes.
I definitely want to learn more about that, and we'll talk about that a little later. So let's start with just the first step of, because this is a podcast about obedience, I would love to get your understanding of what you believe obedience to the Lord means to you.
Perfect. Yeah. So obedience to the Lord for me means waking up every day and truly with the intention of accomplishing what He has set for me in that day. And to really go about doing that, obedience, it also entails getting up, even either making sure that I spend that time in prayer with Him, doing some Bible study, or that might even include going for a walk, whatever He has set that I need to do to improve our relationship that day. And then taking what I get from that time with Him to ensure that I work that throughout my whole day. And even just in implementing that has made a tremendous change in my life.
Amen. Do you have anything that you feel like you could share regarding how obedience has shaped you and where you're at today? Can you give us some scenarios or situations that has occurred in your life?
Yeah, yeah. Obedience has definitely healed me. So, like I said, I had a traumatic brain injury right when I turned 20, and I really tried to basically heal myself or get past it on my own. And I continued down through with this downward spiral of picking bad relationships, just putting myself in these negative places. And when I finally turned and sought the Lord, I continued to see brighter days and better opportunities come my way. And really, I think the biggest thing is just overall not feel as heavy, feel a lot lighter, which allows me to succeed even more and even further in like writing my book or becoming a mom or being successful in my relationship. So
Amazing. So let's, you've talked about the brain, you've mentioned the brain injury a few times, and I would love to like learn like what happened and what occurred during that time. Can you share a little bit?
yeah, so I was walking to class. I was actually delivering one of my very first projects as an engineering student with my friend, and we were standing at the corner waiting for the light to change. I will note, this morning, I still have no memory of it. And so it's really all what I've been told. I literally have a memory of that dinner the night before. And then the next thing I remember is,
All right, before we dive back in, I want to pause for just a moment and speak to the author in you. That book on your heart isn't just an idea, it's an assignment. God didn't give you that story, that message, that testimony for it to stay locked inside of you. Someone is waiting for your obedience and your words. I'm here to walk with you step by step to bring it from vision to published reality. So don't wait for the perfect time because the time is now. Let's be obedient together. Visit the one and only publishing.com and let's write your book. Now let's get back to the conversation.
Thanksgiving Day, which is 3 weeks after the accident. So and I'll just note that because I truly believe that God kept that from me, kept it so that I was able to heal. But based on everything that I've been told, or from what I've learned and all the reports and everything, is I was standing on the corner of the sidewalk waiting for the light to change, and a car skipped the curb and ran into me and my friend going 30 miles an hour and continued going down the street. Um, yeah. And so the impact resulted in me having 7 fractures to my skull, a severe traumatic brain injury, and a fibula fracture. Um, the big question is always what happened to my friend, and the interesting thing, which the engineer in me always comes out with when I think about this a little bit, because you really see how the impact shifted because she's about a foot shorter than me. So the way that the car hit her, it didn't, and her head didn't end up hitting the windshield like it hit, like mine did, or from what I'm expecting, however, it hit the windshield, and she ended up with more injury to her lower extremities. So her healing obviously was a lot different from mine, but both had a lot of emotional weight because she saw me unconscious in the hospital while I have no memory of it.
Wow. 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 So I'm so sorry that happened to you. Did they ever catch the person?
So he was an older man. When they did go to arrest him, they found that he had dementia. So he wasn't physically competent to stand up in court.
No.
So
Wow.
yeah, so he was battling his own thing.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, so when you woke up and realized what happened, what was the like aftermath of the brain injury? What did it cause cognitively to you? Like what was the prognosis?
Yeah, so when I first woke up, well, it was towards the end of the semester, but I obviously couldn't return to school. I ended up really just going back home. Then kind of the nice thing is I grew up in a suburb of Milwaukee, so I went to Marquette University. So it was my parents weren't too far away, so it was easy for me to go home after that. But I really that for like a month after that, I really just laid on their couch and was in and out of sleep. And when I finally was able to get more aware understanding of what had happened, it became time where I had to finish up every schoolwork and really continue to go to therapy. So backing up a little bit. So after I got discharged from the hospital, I really had very little memory from what I've been told. I really didn't understand who I was, and I really didn't recognize my mom either. So the people at the hospital basically said that it's really just a day at a time. And I ended up going to physical, occupational, and speech therapy. So it was really therapy sessions every day. And then when I was able to start kind of getting some recognition back, I started going back to school to take a couple tests. Didn't really finish out that semester, but my brain and my body was still so exhausted and healing that I really could only accomplish like one thing a day because I was just exhausted. My brain was trying to heal itself. I did end up going back to school that following semester, but I get into more detail in the book because it really took me, I would say, 6, 7 years to truly heal.
Wow. Wow. That sounds tough. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, that sounds tough. And so share with me, what did that look like as far as your relationship with the Lord at that time during that healing process?
So w- when I got hit, like prior to that, so Marquette is a Jesuit university, so I had to take a theology course before or during my freshman year. And even before I went to Marquette, I knew I believed in God. My family went to church every Sunday, very casual relationship. Then when I went to Marquette, I was excited because I'm like, oh, I can actually learn more about the God that I say I believe. And but then my theology course just kind of it was a huge shock to me because bringing up different parts of the Bible that I hadn't really been aware of or like wasn't really I never really picked up the Bible and read and studied it myself prior to that. So having being in a classroom with all of these kids that like had been raised Catholic, had been in Bible study their whole lives, knew the Bible way better than I did. I felt kind of almost like incompetent, which made me like pushed me away from the Bible. And
Mm,
so I went through a period where I didn't believe the Bible, but I still believed in God. So then when the car accident happened, I just became angry at God because why is he putting me through this? What did I do to deserve this? And for many years, I just felt he had abandoned me. So I that's really where it went to. I felt I needed to heal and accomplish things on my own, which only made my recovery worse.
and then when did the shift occur?
So when I found myself really at my lowest, probably I would say, let's see, that was about 2017, probably like about 5 years after the accident. I found myself just in this role at work that I couldn't stand, in this relationship that just was continuing to make me hate myself. And I have these two my best friends. They just continue to stand by my side through everything, and they grew up very, very, very God fearing. Like always, like they they always would send me sermons and send me things that I needed to listen to. And even when I would just like ignore them, and I know they knew I ignored them, they still continued to show me that I was worth more
Mm,
and continue to really like show that God was chasing me.
mhm,
And they also like knew where I was at and continued to encourage me, Nicole, you need to pray on it. You need to pray on it. And finally I found myself just at my lowest pit and I got down on my knees and I'm like, I can't do this on my own anymore. And
mm.
I just in life, and that's when I realized I really need to take a turn. And I go into more detail in my book, but just little steps every day got me to
Yeah,
where I am now.
I love that. I love that. And you mentioned earlier that almost like obedience is a like daily task, like you do it every single day.
Yeah.
How did you can you share with us, how did you bridge that gap after you really sunk deeper into the Lord and then it was time for you to move into obedience? How did God position you and train you so that you could really make those decisions on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I definitely it's interesting because as I started in my walk of obedience and really after that bad relationship, after that big bad position, things finally started to kind of turn around for me. I took the time to myself really to focus on only my relationship with him and just become the woman that I wanted, that I felt he wanted me to be and I wanted to be. And then I found myself in a really positive relationship and like thought that things were going well, but then some like it took things took a turn and everything kind of fell apart when I didn't expect it to, which and that really pushed me almost back into some of the ways that I was doing before. And the reason why I say that is because that was the time when I realized when God really showed me, no, 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 even though these things, these hiccups happen, you still need to walk with me because things things are still good. There's a
Yeah.
reason for everything, even when it doesn't feel good and feel like things are working out. And that wake up really helped me to truly realize, okay, this is truly an everyday task. And that's what helped me get past that changing experience faster than what I did when I had the brain injury. So,
Wow. Wow. So, I think a lot of people can relate to going through a physical issue and then having to heal from it. But the emotional part of the second time you needed to heal, I think even more people can relate to that. When you said the Lord shared with you and showed you that you still have to press forward with me regardless of the problems, what did that look like? Can you share, like, how did you come to that realization? Was it the Lord spoke to you directly in your heart? Like, can you share with us about that?
yeah, so I've in and out of like these bad relationships again, and just and it really ended up being, I call it my slap in the face, because I realized, like, if I don't if I don't start being the person that I know I'm supposed to be, things will turn out a lot worse. And
Mm.
it really was just, it was, I guess, yeah, I would say he spoke to me, because I really realized, okay, I need to stop these things before something else bad happens.
Was it getting progressively, like like first relationship was pretty bad, but the next one was even worse, and then you were like, okay, we're really going down the wrong direction, or you just kept seeing the same thing over and over before you came to that understanding?
It was kind of, it was more kind of over and over, just these men were treating me like I was last and like I was second, and it was more showing me like, you need to have more respect for yourself, because you're worth so much more
Mm.
than being treated second or last by these other people.
Amen. So, okay, so fast forward, you realize you need to sink deeper into God and let go of everything that you've been doing, knowing that that's not the right route and everything. And then now you've built this relationship with the Lord. Once again, how did you know, like, how did you get that confidence to constantly move in obedience on a daily basis? Like, was there a turning point where you were like, okay, I hear the Lord telling me this, I'm just going to push forward and do it? Or was it something that, uh, was you didn't realize you were doing it, but you were just moving in obedience regardless? Like, was God training you? How did that work?
I believe that what has continued to keep me pushing forward in my obedience to the Lord is just that every day is a lot lighter. Like, I was able to, one, I no longer have to take antidepressants, which I used to, and like my emotions, my mental health is so much stronger, so much better. He continues to bless me. Like, I continue to get great reviews at work, even when I don't feel I deserve that. But I, like, obviously I'm doing a great job, and he's giving me the tools that I need to do do that work successfully. Everything that he has put in my place to accomplish, I have succeeded in. I felt he asked me to write this book, and it has gotten great reviews so far, already making a difference in people's lives. There's there and I'll put in this little tidbit too, like, trials definitely still continue to happen. Like, last year, my house caught on fire, but like, I say all that to say that he still got me back home before my daughter was born. And things like that make me just remember that these being a Christian doesn't say things are going to be easy, it's going to be a walk in the park. Things are always going to happen, but with God, things are always less heavy.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I love that. So let's talk about your book. You said the Lord told you to write this book, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so, first and foremost, how did you know that the Lord was telling you to write this book?
I was sitting on the couch, and I can't tell you exactly what day it was or what exactly happened, but I know I was sitting on my couch, and I just felt like I I had gotten baptized that prior year, which you'll see it in the book, and I was just reflecting on everything that had happened, and I just felt in my soul like, you need to start writing. You need to get your story out there so that you can help other women that are struggling through whatever they're struggling with. It doesn't have to be a traumatic brain injury. It doesn't, like, or even the loss of a loved one. It could be really any challenge, because we all have them. No challenge is big or small. Like, we all have life-changing experiences that shape us. And
Mhm.
so that I felt God tell me that I'm meant to get that story out there to really help other women grow in their own self-confidence and worthiness so that these things can shape them rather than hurt them.
So how was that process like moving forward? So did you, as soon as you felt that, were you just got up and started writing, or were you like, I'll get to it? What was the process?
I'm sure I can't remember for a fact, but I'm sure I hesitated a little bit. But I got on my laptop and I just started writing chapter by chapter, like how what I felt he wanted me to share. And I got a good draft out, and then I found book launchers, which is what really helped me get connected with a book coach. And after I got connected with her, we really kind of rewrote the whole thing, obviously with with my main stories, but that was the most interesting part of it, right? Because I was like, well, this seems pretty good, and she's like, let's go chapter by chapter and really dig in to make sure you get your story across. And so we really just rewrote it, and I think it took me probably two years to finally get that final book out there. But I think it's everything that I could have ever or imagined it to be. Like even my book cover, um I felt that I really literally saw this picture in my head, and I tried explaining it to everybody, and everybody's like, it like maybe that would look okay, but it's just I mean, everybody can look it up, but I like this cover is just everything that I imagined it to
Oh,
be. So
beautiful. That is beautiful.
so it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's just like everything, just seeing it all come together. No one can tell me that it wasn't God because
So let me ask you this. So while you, it's 2 years is a long time. So did you ever waver during that time? Like, I don't know if I should be doing this.
honestly, surprisingly, this is the one like thing that he's given me that I felt he really pushed me to do that I really did not waver on. I
Mm,
really when I started, I dug in, and I like yeah, 2 years is a long time, but that's mostly because I wrote the book, I drafted it out, and then I rewrote it again.
mhm,
And
mhm.
that's why I feel it took so long. Oh, and I did take a little break with when I gave birth to my daughter, so that also stretched it out a little bit. But besides that little break, no, I really dug into this one.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited to order your book, and people can purchase it on Amazon, or is there?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Amazon. There's also you can get on Barnes and Noble, a couple other places if you want. They can go to dynamicallycrafted.com. That's my website, and it'll show them direct me them to the link of all the places they can purchase it.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. What would you say to someone that maybe is called to write a book, or maybe has heard the call of the Lord to make simple steps daily, but they're like very hesitant?
Mhm.
What would you say to them now that you've experienced the goodness of God in your life through walking in obedience?
I would say I know it's hard and I know it's scary, but jump and do it because the fruitfulness and everything you can't imagine it at on the other side. Like
Mm,
he continues to bless you over and over when you do the work that he has asked you to do.
that's amazing. I love that. Okay, so I have this one other question. In one word, how would you describe what the Lord means to you in this season of your life?
Mm. Um, I would say like elevation, which I know that's a typical thing that churches use as like in their name, but that's not the reason why I choose it. I choose elevation because he has already brought me to a level that I never thought, or of accomplishment and success that I never thought that I'd be at. And the great thing is he's continuing, I know he's going to continue to bring me higher, and that's why I choose elevation because it's the the gratefulness is yet to come, and I'm just excited to see what he's got planned.
Amen. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. And on your website, what can they access other than your book? Is there anything to be able to connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. There's an about me, and then there's also a place where you can connect with me. I'm definitely looking to start coaching other women that are looking for ways to become to walk in their faith with the Lord, and also find their self-confidence, their worthiness, or even speak at events that people would like me to speak at. And then I also have a blog, so that's really where I share events and things going on in my life, and also how I'm working to walk in my relationship with the Lord more and more every day.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. It was such an honor to meet you and to hear more about your life and your story and your walk with the Lord.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and I just want to say thank you to all the guests that had the opportunity to listen. I hope this blessed you as much as it's blessed me. And please always remember, obedience is the new success and your life is proof.
Yes. Thank you for having me.